Hi everyone, in this video we are going to solve the KCET 2020 chemistry question paper. The first question is the IUPAC name of PTNH34 PTCl4 is. Here you can observe that there are two complexes in this question. Here the first given complex is a cationic complex, we already know that, and the second is the anionic complex. First we have to name the cationic complex, then we should name the anionic complex. The options are like this. First let's solve this question. Now coming to this is a cationic complex. First let's take this PTNH3 4. Now let's write the number of ligands and also name of the ligands. See here, number of ligands, next one is name of the ligands. Name of the ligand. Here you can observe that there is only one ligand. So here the NH3 is a neutral ligand. So see here, number of ligands and name of the ligands. We know that for a neutral ligand, the last letter is not replaced by O. We know that for anionic ligands, the last letter is replaced by O. That means for chloride, we will name as chlorido. So it is a neutral ligand. So for these neutral ligands and also cationic ligands, there is no change in the last letter. So we will write that is 4-amine. That's why tetraamine is the name of the ligand. Next, coming to the name of the metal ion. Name of the metal ion. Here the metal ion is also remains the same. It does not change. So the metal here is, that is platinum. So the metal is platinum. So by combining these two, we will get the name tetraamine platinum. This is for the cationic complex. Now another one is remaining, that is the anionic complex. Now let's take the anionic complex. The anionic complex here is PTCl4. Now same procedure for this, the number of ligands and the name of the ligands. Let's write it. So here the ligand is the Cl. We know that it is the anionic ligand. So the last letter will change to O. So chloride will become chlorido. So that is, how many number of Cl are present? That is tetrachlorido for the name of the ligand and also number of the ligand. Now coming to the name of the metal ion. See here is the metal is Pt. So the name of the metal ion ends in Ate. So it will become palatinate. Here you can observe that it is ended by Ate. So here by combining these two ligands and the metal, we will get tetrachlorido palatinate. So by combining these two, we will write it as tetraamine platinum and also tetrachlorido palatinate. Now let's check the answer here. See, here you can see the option D is the correct answer for this. See, tetraamine platinum and tetrachlorido palatinate is the correct answer. The correct option here is D. Now coming to the next question. Second question. Let's read the second question. The function of potassium ethyl xanthate in froth flotation process is to make the ore, option A, lighter, B, hydrophobic, C, hydrophilic, and D, heavier. Now let's see what is froth flotation. Here froth flotation used to concentrate the sulfide ores. For example, sulfide ores of copper. In this process, the powdered ore is taken in the taken as a suspension in water. To the suspension, collectors are added. These collectors are xanthates. See here, ethyl xanthate is a collector. This is the collectors, xanthates are the collector. See here, this ore is taken in the powder form and as added as a suspension in water. Then the collectors are added, that is ethyl xanthate is a collector here. See here, they are given in the NCERT textbook that what is the function of this collector means these collectors increases the non-wettability of the ore particles. Here this makes non-wettability of the ore particles. What does it means? Means it makes the ore hydrophobic. Hydrophobic. That means water hating. These collectors attach to the polar groups and they become water repellent. So the function of this ethyl xanthate is to make the ore that is hydrophobic. Option B is the correct answer. It makes the ore water hating. Next, coming to the third question. Prolonged exposure of chloroform in humans may cause damage to the liver. It is due to the formation of the following compounds. Option A CCl4, option B COCl2, option C CH2Cl2 and option D is Cl2. They are asking that prolonged exposure of chloroform in humans may cause damage to the liver. Why this happens means, let's consider the reaction that is chloroform. The chloroform is CHCl3. When it is reacted, we will get COCl2 plus HCl. When oxidation happens of this chloroform, we will get COCl2. This will damage the liver. Here the option is option B, that is COCl2 is the correct answer. See this reaction. When the chloroform undergoes oxidation, we will get COCl2 plus HCl. So the correct answer is B. Now see the fourth question. Aqueous solution of salt A. The salt A is not given. It forms a dense white precipitate with BaCl2 solution. The salt A forms a dense white precipitate with BaCl2 solution. Here the white precipitate dissolves in the dilute HCl to produce a gas B. This precipitate which is the white precipitate, when dissolved in the HCl, it will produce a gas B, which decolorized acidified KMnO4 solution. So what is A and B in this? They are asking. So salt A and gas B, we don't know. We should find it out. So here we have BaSO3 and BaSO4. Remember that BaSO4 is insoluble in the cold HCl, but it is soluble in the hot dilute HCl. Here they have only given dilute HCl. So let's neglect this BaSO4. So let's take this BaSO3 only. So now the reaction, let's write the reaction here, that is BaSO3. It is reacted with the 2HCl. It will give BaCl2 plus H2O plus SO2. This is the reaction. So the salt here is BaSO3. When BaSO3 is reacted with 2HCl, it will give BaCl2 H2O plus SO2. So we have got the salt here, that is BaSO3 is the salt and here is a gas is SO2. You can see gas is SO2. So the correct option is option A. That is the salt is BaSO3 and the gas is SO2. So it is A, it is B here. So this is the correct option. Now coming to the next question. The question is like this. Bond angle in pH 4 plus is more than that of the pH 3. This is because the option A is lone pair bond pair repulsion exists in pH 3. Option B, pH4 plus has a square planar structure. Option C is pH3 has planar trigonal structure. Option D is hybridization of P changes when pH3 is converted to pH4 plus. Now let's see the structures of this pH4 plus and pH3. We will get an idea. See here, I am writing the structure of this pH4 plus. So here is the H. It is the structure of the pH4 plus. Now coming to the structure of this pH3. It is like this with one lone pair of electrons. See here, in this pH4 plus, we can see due to the absence of lone pair bond pair repulsions. Here all the bond pairs only present. See here, bond pair interactions only present. There is no lone pair interaction. So why? Because there is no lone pair only. There are all the bond pair also only are present. So due to the less repulsion, pH4 plus is having tetrahedral geometry. It is having tetrahedral geometry. That means the bond angle is 109 degree 28 minutes. While coming to this pH3, it is having a lone pair. See here, this pH3 has 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair around this P. Due to this greater lone pair and bond pair repulsions, I will write the bond pair and lone pair repulsions. Due to these repulsions, this angle will change. This tetrahedral will decrease from 109 degree 28 minutes to 93.6 degree. That means it will have a pyramidal structure. So here's a bond angle of this tetrahedral geometry is more and this bond angle of this pyramidal structure is less. Why? Because due to the lone pair and bond pair repulsions which are existing in the pH3. The question is the bond angle is the bond angle in pH4 plus is more than that of the pH3. This is because the option is the correct answer. See here, lone pair bond pair repulsion exists in pH3. That's why here the bond angle of this pH3 is less. The important point is these lone pair and bond pair repulsions will determine the structure. So the option is the correct answer. Why? Because in this lone pair and also bond pairs are present. So the repulsion is more. So the bond angle is less. Question is incorrectly matched pair is A. XeO3 pyramidal, B is XeF4 tetrahedral, C is XeF4, C is XeF6, it is distorted octahedral, and D is XeOF4 square pyramidal. And the correct option here is option B, that is incorrectly matched. Why? Because XeF4 is the square planar structure. I will explain it to you. See, it is having the structure like this. Here is the F atoms. So here are the 2 lone pair of electrons present on the Xe, that is xenon. Now let's take the valence shell electronic configuration of this central atom. So xenon is having 5s2, 5p in the X, 5px2 and 5py2 and also 5pz2. Let's write this is the s orbital, this is the p orbital, and this is the d orbital. Now here is a 5s, this 5p, and it is 5d. Here you can see s has 2 electrons, so fill it them, and this p has 6 electrons, so here are 2, and here are 2 in the 5p orbital. So here this xenon should form 4 bonds with the 4 fluorine atoms. So it should make available its 4 of the unpaired electrons. So that means these paired electrons will move to the 5d orbital to make the unpaired electrons to be available for the fluorine atoms. So the next step is like this. Here the 2 electrons are present. Now in the 5p and 5d, see in the 5p, here are the 2 electrons and here is the 1 electron, here the 1 electron, and the rest of the 2 electrons will jump to the 5d orbital. Is the 5d. So these 6 orbitals, that is 1 5s and 3 5p orbitals and 2 5d orbitals. See, 2 5d orbitals, 3 5p orbitals and 1 5s orbital will make S1 and P is 3 and D is 2. So sp3 hybridization is possible for the forming of this 6-5 hybrid orbitals. So these two electrons and here is a 1 electron, here is a 1 electron, like this they are situated. So the total is 6 electrons. See, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons are situated like this. 2 pairs are situated as a lone pair of electrons and rest of the others are situated here on the F atom. So these will form the lone pair and this will form the atoms on the F. So this will give the structure. So you can say that sp3d2 is having square planar structure. We already know that this sp3d2 hybridization will have the square planar structure. So this XeF4 is a tetrahedral. It is wrong statement. So it is square planar is the correct answer. So incorrectly matched pair is option B, that is xenon F4 tetrahedral is the correct answer for this. Now coming to the question number 7, that is phosphorus pentachloride. The options are like this. Option A is on hydrolysis gives an oxo acid of phosphorus which is tribasic, and this phosphorus pentachloride on hydrolysis gives an oxo acid of phosphorus acid which is good reducing agent, and option C is as all the equivalent bonds, and option D is exist as an ionic solid in which cations has octahedral structure and anions has tetrahedral structure. So now let's take this phosphorus pentachloride. When it undergoes hydrolysis, we can get H3PO4 plus 3HCl. So here it is the tribasic acid. We have got the tribasic acid. I will say why it is tribasic. It is orthophosphoric acid. We already know that it is orthophosphoric acid. So now see here, this H3PO4 is having the structure like this. I will write the structure here. See here, it is OH, 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 and it is double bond O. So here 3 OH groups are present. So it is tribasic acid. That means 3 replaceable hydrogen atoms is present in a molecule. Here hydrogen atoms which are directly attached to the phosphorus cannot be replaced by the metal atom. See here, hydrogen atoms which are directly attached to the phosphorus cannot be replaced by the metal ion. See here, if the metal ion is present, if the H atoms are directly present, means they cannot be replaced by the metal ion. So they can be replaced if they are attached to the oxygen. So they are attached to the oxygen here. So how many oxygens, how many OH are present? There are 3 OH are present. So it is tribasic acid. It is the tribasic acid. So the correct answer is option A. On hydrolysis gives an oxo acid. We have got an oxo acid, that is orthophosphoric acid of phosphorus which is tribasic. Yes, it is a tribasic acid. Just remember that 3 OH groups are present. So it is tribasic acid. So here the option A is the correct. Now the next question is identify the set of paramagnetic ions among the following. The correct option is option C. Here it is having paramagnetic ions. Here paramagnetic ions means they should have unpaired electrons. Paramagnetic means they should have unpaired electrons. Now let's see this. Here for this Ti3 plus we are having the electronic configuration organ 4s1. So here is the one unpaired electron is present. Yes, it is a paramagnetic. Now coming to this Cu2 plus, this is having Ar 3d9. So here is, let's write this 3d. For this 3d, let's fill the electrons. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and last orbital is unpaired. So one unpaired electron is present in this 3d. Now coming to the Mn3 plus. So it is having organ 3d 4s0. For this, in this 3d4 there are having 4 unpaired electrons. So it is a paramagnetic. So these Ti3 plus, Cu2 plus and Mn3 plus are consisting of unpaired electrons. So they are paramagnetic in nature. The option is option C is the correct answer here. Now the ninth question is how many moles of acidified K2Cr2O7 is required to liberate 6 moles of I2 from an aqueous solution of I2. They are asking how many moles of acidified K2Cr2O7 is required to liberate 6 moles of I2 from the aqueous solution of I2. So now let's consider this reaction, that is Cr2O7 2 minus plus 14H plus 6I minus will give 2Cr3 plus 7H2O plus 3I2. So here see this reaction. How many moles of I2 is obtained in this reaction? That is 3 moles of I2 is obtained. That is 3 moles. To again to form another, they are asking 6 moles of I2. So we have obtained 3 moles of I2. So again to form 6 moles of I2, we should add 2 moles of K2Cr2O7. We have added 1 mole of K2Cr2O7. We have got 3 moles of I2. If we add 2 moles of K2Cr2O7, we will get 6 I2. So the correct option is option A is the correct option. That is 2 moles of K2Cr2O7 will liberate 6 I2. That is 6 moles of I2. Now 10th question is Cu2Cl2 and CuCl2 in aqueous medium. Here option A is CuCl2 is more stable than Cu2Cl2. Option B is stability of Cu2Cl2 is equal to the stability of CuCl2. Option C is both are unstable. Option D is Cu2Cl2 is more stable than the CuCl2. Now let's see oxidation state of this both Cu2Cl2 and also CuCl2. First let's see Cu2Cl2 oxidation. So here we don't know this Cu. So let's take how many Cu is present, that is 2. So 2x plus how many Cl2, that is 2 Cl2. So 2 into the charge on the Cl is -1 is equals to 0. So 2x minus 2 is equals to 0. X is equals to 2 by 2. We will get x is equals to 1. X is 1 here in the Cu2Cl2. That is charge on the Cu here is +1. Let's see this for CuCl2. X plus 2 into minus 1. We don't know Cu, so let's put it as x, plus 2 into minus 1 is equals to 0. So plus into minus 2 is equals to 0, x is equals to plus 2. The oxidation state here is plus 2. So here is option A is the correct answer. Why? Because smaller the size of the cation, more will be the hydration enthalpy. See, smaller the size of cation, it will give rise to more will be the hydration enthalpy. This hydration enthalpy will depends upon the size of the cation. If it is smaller, more will be the hydration enthalpy. We know that what is hydration enthalpy? It is the amount of energy released during the hydration. So here this is, that is CuCl2. In CuCl2 the cation oxidation state is plus 2, that is Cu is having the oxidation plus 2 oxidation state. So when compared to Cu plus 1 and Cu plus 2, this is the smaller one, smaller cation. Why? Because it is plus 2 and it is plus 1. So smaller cation will have more hydration enthalpy. So this more hydration enthalpy means it is having more stability. So here correct answer is CuCl2 is more stable than that of the Cu2Cl2. Why? Because of the hydration enthalpy, stability also increases. This is about the 10 questions of this CET 2020 chemistry. I have solved it in detail. The video is becoming very longer, so I will do the answer for the next questions in my next videos. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.